Guys, the sound I just played was a classic mini Moog style bass sound inside SubBoomBass. And the play mode here is legato. And this is where you set how SubBoomBass plays its sounds. And SubBoomBass also has a built-in sequencer, and this sequencer you select down here. Once the sequencer is selected, you can open the screen, and here you can adjust the sequencer parameters. And this tutorial is about this sequencer. Well, if you own complete control or machine, you can see here inside SubBoomBass we have several presets and also several banks which using the sequencer. If you don't use complete control or machine, you also can click on the bank manager. There we have all the presets of SubBoomBass, and you will find also here the banks with the presets which are using the sequencer. Let's dive into more detail now. Inside the sequencer you can see a button A and B, which stands for sequencer A and B. So you can have two sequencers active in one preset. And the way they play you determine here. You can say play only sequence A, play only sequence B, or say split mode. So in split mode it means that below the note C3 the sequence A is playing. And from C3 and up, sequence B is playing. And you can also see that the LED of this button B goes on the moment I play in this upper range. So this way, by using the keyboard, you can trigger two different sequencers. And then there is top mode. With top mode, it means that with the note B5 and C6, you determine which sequencer is playing. If I hit the note B5, sequence A is playing. If I hit the note C6, B is playing. Then there is another mode which is called join. Join means that first it plays sequence A and then it plays sequence B. So if you're looking for a 32-step sequencer inside SubBoomBass, use the version join. By the way, each of these sequencer has its own setting. So when I go to sequence B, it also means that sequence B, I can put the speed to half. So let's play join, then it plays first A and then B at half the speed. So a lot of variations can be made by using sequencer A and B in these several options here. Well, another feature inside the sequencer is the time mode. Time mode means that you can length one step. So in time mode we have this normal mode. Step 1 is length by 2, 3 and 4, which makes that this first step has a longer duration. While in special mode, you still can change the tuning of it. Then there is toggle mode. Toggle mode 1 means that it first plays special and then normal. Toggle 2 means first normal and then special. The next menu is free/oscillator. It sets what is visible down here. Oscillator setting, which you can find here, or the free row, which is down here if you select free row. Well, the free row is something you can address to any of the SubBoomBass parameter. In case of this preset, it is controlling the FX section. You see, sequencer free row is controlling the FX1 mix, and so it controls the mix of the first FX, which is a stereo delay. Let's play it. You can hear that on step number 9, the value of the free row is 100, so only on step 9 you can hear this stereo delay. So this free row is a very creative tool to control anything inside SubBoomBass, included the FX. The other menu you can select here in the free/os is oscillator. Once this is selected, down here inside the sequencer you can see oscillator 1 and oscillator 2 displayed. And each of the oscillator can have a different waveform on each step, so essentially it's wave sequencing. Let's shut down oscillator 2 so that we only hear oscillator 1. And you can see on step 1 it has a line, which means that it uses the original sample which is selected in the oscillator, in this case this Udo. But you can hear on step number 9 that the sound is different. Here another waveform is selected. If you use the mouse inside this box, you can select a different waveform. The classic waveforms or one of the tuned percussion sounds. Okay, let's take another one. Contrabass, for instance. So each step can have its own waveform if you want. Well, oscillator 2 does it a bit different. Here it selects waveform number 25, then here it is the original one, and then again 25. Let's play it. Yeah, and together you get an interesting sequence. So this section is very important to control the free row or to change the waveform on each step for the oscillators. The next menu in the sequencer is lock. When I put lock on, it means that it locks the sequencer. So when I change now from preset, the sequencer remains the same. I only go to a different preset. Well, the original one, if I put lock off, you can hear again the original one of the next preset I had. It's a very different one. So I also can say, okay, put lock on and go one back and see how it works with this sequencer in this other preset. Okay, let's put lock off and then I again have the original sequencer. So by just putting lock on and going to another preset, you can run in some very interesting sounds. And once you like it and you want to store it, select Set, and this makes that the sequencer is copied inside this preset. But you need, of course, to save the preset. And you can save the preset to disk. When we go down in the sequencer menu, we can see the swing dial for adding swing, but also slide. And slide needs to be activated in this row, slide row. So everywhere where there's a cross in this tab, the slide is going to be active. The next control is velocity/key. If this dial is fully to the left, the velocity setting on each step determines how the synthesizer responds to the velocity setting. Can put it a bit more to the max, and now the velocity on the volume is maximized. So these settings here determine how the velocity works. If I turn this dial fully to the right, the input from the keyboard determines how the velocity is. Now I play soft. And now I play loud. And you can mix to your own taste between both of them. So again, fully to the left, the velocity setting of each step determines how the sound is responding to the velocity. Fully to the right, your keyboard is ruling. And you can go somewhere in between. Well, the next dial is step length. Of course, the envelope settings of the volume determine how long a sound sounds, but you also can change it here by step length. Advisable is to keep it fully to the right and to control the length of the sound here in the amplifier envelope setting. Then there is key entry. Key entry I can use to put in the data for the tuning row here. Each step can have its own tuning, and I can use the keyboard for this. Keep in mind that tune 0 is the C3, the root note. So I press key entry and then I play the melody. I let go of this button here, and then the melody is put inside the sequencer. Then there is retrigger. With retrigger off, it means that I can play different notes while the sequencer is playing. Let's do this with a bit of background percussion. With retrigger on, it means that each new note I play, that it retriggers to step 1. Listen to this. So it depends on how you like to use the sequencer. Put on, retrigger, on or off. There are a lot of presets inside SubBoomBass, inside the sequencer preset banks. So check them out and check how the settings are here to discover all these creative features inside SubBoomBass. Last but not least, I like to mention that if you are over this screen here and use the right mouse, you have several options. For instance, you can copy a sequence. You can copy sequence A, then you go to sequence B and paste this sequence. Or you can clear a sequence or clear both sequences. So this sequencer of SubBoomBass is very powerful and very creative. Have fun!